For me to make videos for you, I rely heavily on a device in my house that looks like this on the table. Now this device has been a little bit troublesome, so it had me looking a little bit closer at this device, and one major problem I can see, it says here, made in China. Now many people have said to me, a little tap of a hammer will make something come good. Let's see if that's true.
Warning. The warning on this video has been removed, and this video is intended for people who have a mature mindset. If you're a snowflake style of person, this video is not for you.
I'm sort of thinking this is about as exclusive as a grain of sand that you find at the beach. I mean, give that showman some fripping love! Get it right or give up! If you can't get it right, please give up!
At the moment I can't find my classic Mr. Hammer. I'm hoping this will do the job, and I will set this up in a respectable angle of the dangle to see if we can fix this. We take technology for granted. Let me just line up the hammer first, a couple little taps so I can get a feel for this brand new hammer, and we'll get into it. You piece of absolute crap! Ah! Dusted. I knew Mr. Hammer would fix this. I can see the problem. I can see the problem. It's got a dry solder joint right there. Let me fix that right now. I like this hammer. It works in all directions. Okay, I'll go and try it in the house now and plug it back in, hey? That's the brand of the hammer. It's something I purchased in Hammer Barn some time ago. It's got a really nice feel to it, nice long handle, and a good feel when it's swinging. 22 ounce variation, whatever 22 ounces is. You can tell me, I don't understand that. And I will get this into a little bin I have on the table. Woo! Nothing like a clean slate and a repaired modem. We're going to look at some of this in this video. I'm also going to need that to help me along the way. And I'm just going to leave the back looking like chaos. I think this looks beautiful. It's all there a la Mr. Hammer, and you know, it looks like a piece of art to me. Looks fantastic. I'm going to leave it like this for this video. In a previous video I did ask the audience who understands the manufacturing dates of these 3-packs. I had one excellent comment from a YouTuber, and it really revealed a lot of information to me. Let's hold this person's name up high and let's read his comment.
HunterTube6887 says, for the bit at the end, if you're wondering where the production date of the Thomas is, it is not on the cover shell, it is actually on the bottom of the back coupling. The production date is also set up in a similar way to the 2022 Wooden Railway Thomas, where the first 3 numbers represent the day it was made, and the last number, in brackets for the motorized, in this case being the 5, being the year it was produced, so that would be 2025. HunterTube6887, I hold your name up high on this site called YouTube. You straightened out my misunderstanding of the dates on these collectibles, and it's interesting how if I ask a question to the big audience that I have, how few people come in and answer that query in a nice precise way as you did. I think you're fantastic. Thank you again.
Getting my head around the manufacturing date, or I'm going to call it a packaging date, maybe I'll explain that a bit later, maybe I won't. And it's really strange that to get my head around these dates, it's been twice now in very recent times where I've had to investigate this, and haven't done that for, well, the whole life of my channel up until now. Of course, there was the Found Thomas and the 6-7 written on the poster, and to the YouTuber who thought it was funny to have a go at me, quite a serious go at me about this poster, guess what? You never have another Samo channel. You know, it's that simple. You want to have a go at me? Hey, goodbye, good riddance. And I said 6-7, and it's the word of the year. It's rife in Australia at the moment. You're probably thinking, but that was a thing from last summer. Well, we're coming into our summer, and 6-7 is freaking massive. Anyway, I'll digress. We will not talk about 6-7 anymore. I've said it a couple of times, so you're probably going to freak out about that. Of course, this was the 80th anniversary 3-pack that I had a look at that I was quite disappointed about. I thought I'd get good lines on both sides, and as I said in another video, maybe I've seen one person who has one which is, I'm calling it Mickey Mouse, but unfortunately I'm yet to find one which has line work which I think is respectable to what they're doing here. Okay, and that's really sad, and I'm going to show you all the stock of this that I've found. Okay, but to get my head around the dates, let me just show you something here. The back coupling has stamped on it there 1655D, and it's also placed onto the box there exactly the same code, 1655D. So via the assistance of that wonderful YouTuber that left the comment, I'm starting to understand that the 165 is the day of the year, and I printed out day of the year lists. So we're looking for 165. This is June. We're going to go down to 165 here, and we're going to go across here, and it is the 14th of June. So remember that, 14th of June is 165. Now that's a normal year, that is 2025 is a normal year. Last year, 2024, would have been a leap year. I'm not sure whether the factories abide by leap years or just always think about normal years. I'm sure someone out there will tell me. But in understanding this, I can then put this here. I can say the 14th of June for that little monkey there. And when looking at the number on the coupler here, you can see that it's not in a straight line. It'd be a machine that would roll over different numbers as the days change and the years change and whatever else changes. And I think this has been put on as a final process and for the fact it's on the box as well, but it has nothing to do when this coupling piece was made or when the shonky line work has been put onto these models. I actually think it was the other side that had the shonkier line work. Yeah, that was the bad side there. And yeah, I'm yet to find one. I just want to find one which has got premium lines. Let me just gently put that aside. And these were the first two that I found in store, and I've got an interesting date between when I found it versus, I'll call it the packaging date, and it was the 9th of April for those two monkeys there. So I know when these were packaged in China, and I certainly know when I found them in store. I got quite excited. Let's take a look at this. China to Sydney, 9th of April when they were packaged, and then I found it in store. These are the first that I found on the 19th of June 2025, and that's 71 days or 2 months and 10 days, and that's not including the day I found them. It had me thinking, how did this stock here get between China to Sydney, Australia? And I'm thinking this is shipping, as in a slow boat from China. This is the time frame, although this is a fairly tight time frame for shipping. It may have been flown in, maybe you know more than me. And when you look on Flight Radar and see how many big jets are coming in from China every day, boy oh boy, that will blow your mind. Let me show you some more dates, okay? So we've got 9th of April there. I'll just drag up some more boxes here and show you some more dates. Okay, this box here, it's all the 11th of April. This stock here, it's all the same 3-pack in here. And of course the 3-pack is this one here. It's Thomas the Tank with 2 Troublesome trucks, 80th anniversary style. And to find this, and this is quite curious because this starts to reveal a few mysteries of what's going on, is I was finding this in there's only a couple of retailers that carry this stock. And if I was finding this, I was only ever finding either one or a pair of them. Okay, we will come back to this because I want to show you something about the line work on these versus the date. And I've got another box. Let me just gently put this aside. Ooh, that sounded nasty. I've got another box I'm going to bring up here. Sorry for not putting an edit in. Okay, this is the box here, and it's the first slot here is the 14th of June, and these again are all the Thomas the Tank 80th anniversary 3-pack, blah blah blah. Okay, I don't know why I put an asterisk on that. Maybe I thought the line work on that one was okay. Why did I do that? And the 16th of June as well, and then all of a sudden it came to a stop. To find these 3-packs now is very difficult. We're getting into the crunch time. We're not far away from Christmas, and that's what we're going to look at in the end part of this video. Let me just put this 14th of June back in here, but I want to go back to that box which was marked the 11th of April. Okay, this is the 11th of April box. I'd hate to think how long it took me to find this stock. There's 21 boxes of this 3-pack. But for the fact I've got all this as the 11th of April, as in I'm calling it the packaging date, it made me realize that the line work error and what's going on these Thomases is not bound by the date that is put onto these Beautiful collectibles. Okay, I've got 9 boxes marked as the 11th of April of this beautiful Thomas 3-pack. I have got a set square and adjustable one set on the table here, and I'm going to lock this down with blue tack. In fact, I've already done that. There's my last blob of blue tack there. So this square can't move. I'm going to present each of these boxes into the set square like that. I'm going to lock off the camera and very carefully look at what's going on with the line work in each Thomas. So it's a case of me not bumping the camera, not altering the lighting, making sure the focus is locked off as well, and just going through getting a little bit of video of each one and extracting a still. And then I'll put them in a bit of a roll, and hopefully we'll start to see what exactly is going on here. I'm very curious about that. Hopefully we're looking at the looper video of the 9 Thomases all from the same date against the set square, against the locked off camera and the same lighting. Surely we're seeing the line work moving around on each Thomas. I've got a sneaky suspicion that the weathering modelling effect is different as well. I'm talking here before I've actually edited this together, so I'm talking a lot of crap here. But this is the very rough nut way of doing this. To do it properly, I've got to pull the Thomases out of the box and set up a really elaborate rig to lock everything down and look at Thomas in different angles to see exactly what's going on. Well, what's really curious is when I spoke about this and pointed it out in the other video, a lot of people said, and the people who reviewed this Thomas never pointed out that the line work was different on one side of the Thomas versus the other. Now, I find that extraordinary because a lot of people were picking this Thomas to death, and they will argue about a rivet is in the wrong place, yet the line work, being as substandard as it was never picked off as being a problem. And that's the thing I do not understand, because I find the line work in the way it's done to be very annoying. Yet, everyone wants to argue with me. It's perfectly fine to have dodgy line work. I'm hoping that worked. If it didn't work, please forgive me. It was a very, very rustic, rudimentary way of doing this. Let me put the stock back in the box here. And you know what's really, really bizarre is that basically the stock has been around, well, where I live for 6 months now. 6 months, that's half a year. I'm yet to find any metal collection 80th anniversary stuff in store. Now, other people might have come in and grabbed it, or should I say the staff have been grabbing it before it hits the pegs. A lot of that goes on. The Hot Wheels collectors know all about that. I've only ever found twin packs, the 3 packs, and that one 80th anniversary set. Yes, I bought one of those, but mine doesn't have the defective piece of track as some people are finding. Okay, so yeah. It's quite an unusual set in a number of ways. A lot of people are criticising it. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. But I don't think I need to look at that set at all. Okay, this is one of the Thomas 80th anniversary twin packs that I found. I haven't found very many of these. I've written line work okay here. I think I showed this in the other video. And when I say line work okay, well, let me get in closer first. It's this bottom red line work here. And it's nice when there's the same gap going on between all 3 sections of the line work here to the running board. Unfortunately, it's very rarely found, but here the yellow line around the cab is a little bit off, and I'm really curious to open this up to see what the other side looks like. I'll have to do a fairly conventional unboxing because I need to be completely truthful in what I'm showing here, or else they say, oh, he swapped it out, or oh, he's had a look. In fact, before we open it, I should show you the back, that I haven't opened this up. Okay, so it's completely sealed up. Not playing any games with you. Okay, I know you're going to say, but oh, he's doing anything to get people to, you know, say boo about him. Oh, why are these so frippin' hard to open up normally? Oh my God, it's like frippin' Fort Knox. Okay, I'm getting there. Okay, I'm really fearful what I'm going to find on the other side, I tell you. Please, 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 let me get rid of the truck. Wish it was Troublesome, but it's not. I wonder what the other side's going to look like. Should I do it as a cliffhanger? No, shouldn't do it, hey? Oh, I don't know what to say! I'm freaking over this! If you're having trouble seeing what's wrong here, let me just drag it this way a bit. Okay, the red line here, has collapsed down into the running board. In fact, it's right down into the running board. This is the side we couldn't see. Oh, this pisses me off big time. Okay, I mean, to me that's still too close, although I'll give it at least it's not into the running board. And the back one here is very low. You should be able to see blue clearly between the red line there and the red running board. My God, how hard is it to do this right? So once again, I'm not going to do the in-hand appraisal because I find this to be completely and utterly substandard. I'm always going to notice this now that I see it. And I think to myself, how come all of a sudden in 2025 is it near impossible to get the correct line work on a Thomas the Tank to be the same on both sides? Yet on the side that we saw presenting, looking out of boxing, I think that's pretty good. If only we saw that on both sides, then we could all get some sleep. And as for the little piece of rolling stock in that twin pack, oh my goodness me. My goodness me. If I had $10 for every one of these that I've got laying in a box, I'd be a millionaire. You know what's missing on this? Very simple. There's a big clue. Oh, isn't that exciting? Do you know what's missing? Well, here's a bigger clue to what's missing. It's called a face. As soon as you put a face on a wagon, it becomes a troublesome truck. It becomes 10,000 times more exciting. That's as boring as hell. That is as boring as hell. That's very, very exciting. Get with it, guys. Do it right. I just sometimes wonder who's making the big decisions when it comes to these. I'll put these away nice and gently. And especially that Thomas there too. Just thinking Mattel 80th anniversary stuff. Guess what I have in my hand? I'll shake it. Do you know that sound? I found one of those in store. I suppose finding one is better than finding none, and in just finding one, I think that's talking to me in a sense that I know what's going on, or I think I know what's going on. I know there's a lot of Hot Wheels collectors, they love collecting 5-packs. You'll see them show you pictures on their phone, and once you get to know them, of whole rooms full of 5-packs. The thing about this 5-pack is I don't understand the top two vehicles there. I don't really like those two, but I like these three here. Okay, Bone Shaker being in the middle has been, I think, one of the main focus ones. And then on the back of this packaging there is Bone Shaker and the names of the other vehicles there. Like, I'm not that heavily geared into Hot Wheels, but I certainly know that that pack there would be extremely sought after if you're a Hot Wheels 5-pack collector. I'll put that very sought after Hot Wheels 80th anniversary 5-pack away gently, of course. Woo! And look what I found here. Okay, Tonies or Tonies, I don't know how you say it. I don't exactly know how they work because I haven't got the box they connect to. Of course, I've spoken about the All Engines Go Thomas that I found. I could find plenty of Percy's, but to find Thomas was extremely difficult, and this was another very, very tricky one to find. Lightning McQueen. Like I may have said before, I'm astounded by how many franchises are caught up in this. It's like every franchise that hates each other is a Tony, and I think that's the miracle of whoever's pulled this off. Songs and story, apparently it does. I wouldn't know because I can't play it. I'm not sure whether you can play it or hack it and get it to play without the special box. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I haven't gone there. But yeah, it was nice to find Lightning McQueen. Very hard to find, which says to me popular. But then again, it was very hard I shouldn't say this to find Thomas All Engines Go, but I'm not sure whether that was saying to me popular or not. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about these in store, in the few stores that carry them, they seem to sell. I see the pegs get eroded away. Certain themes are more popular than others. I certainly know Disney Cars is very, very popular, especially a Lightning McQueen. Very hard to find a die-cast Lightning McQueen. And the interesting aspect of Tony's, which was I learned this through talking to someone in the toy store, was these are seen as a way to get children away from devices in a sense. It's getting back to listening to the stories, playing with tangible things, as in real things in the real world, and maybe this is the gateway to stopping device addiction. Yeah, so maybe they're a very good thing, but maybe you can tell me more. That wasn't an ad for Tony's. I paid top dollar for this stuff here. I nearly said the word shite. I shouldn't say the word shite, should I? Yeah. I'm curious about buying the box to see how these work, but I wouldn't be able to play it because I'm going to be hit down with copyright whatever. Put those away gently, woo, and get on to the next thing, something I know a little bit but a lot about. Yes, the Hot Wheels Advent Calendar, something that I've looked into a number of times on my YouTube channel. I've got a number of years of this, and I was always a bit spooked by how this was frozen in time. Hey, being traditional around Christmas time is sometimes fun, but can also be a death sentence as well. And I looked at this one last year. I was almost going to open it up, but you can sort of see what's in it by looking around the box here, and I just thought I've seen all this crud before. I really have. I see the same stuff over and over and over, and this is 2024's one, so it was 8 cars and 16 accessories. A lot of the stuff wasn't that new, okay, but hey, come 2025, oh boy, and it looks like things have changed. I've spoken about the failings of these advent calendars in the past, and I'm pretty sure I've said they need something which is exclusive. So, wow, how exclusive really is this? I'm not that into Hot Wheels. I'm sure someone who knows my stuff can tell me how special this is. And then when looking around here, I'm starting to get a bit of a different vibe in some ways. In other ways, I'm seeing things that I've seen before, but the thing that I noticed on this was all of a sudden, oh, okay, we're getting 10 cars and 23 accessories. And don't forget, we're getting the exclusive car as well. Let's just go back a year again to remember those numbers from the previous year. Oh my goodness me. There's only 8 cars and 16 accessories. Wow, so we've certainly started to ramp up what's going on here. The advent calendar realm like this has exploded over the last couple of years. Hot Wheels have been doing them for donkey's years in a way. And I always thought to myself, wow, if they ever do something special, which is exclusive, the problem is going to be what I see going on with anything that's special Hot Wheels. And unfortunately, when I looked at this stock in store and there weren't that many boxes of it, which was also quite telling to me, is I can see people have been picking away at this. Yeah, so I dare say little thieving fingers are going to work out exactly where to pick this to death to get the exclusive out of the box. I'm pretty sure I've said in the past when I looked at these, it was always a missed opportunity by Mattel to make something special out of this, and it's very easy to make something special. It looks like they are actually trying to make this a worthwhile thing, and I wonder whether people collect these. I purely collect them for the fact that I like to look at how they change over the years and nothing else. But one thing I remember about last year's advent calendar was, I remember this was sitting in store, stacks of them, it didn't sell, and by the time Easter comes around, they're basically selling for peanuts. Yeah, so I noticed last year's one didn't sell, but I got a sneaky suspicion it's going to be very different with that monkey there. For all I know, Mattel might have looked back in the videos where I've criticised these in the past and picked up on some of the tips that I've said, and it's not hard to make this far more interesting. It's not rocket science to do it right, and it might have been a Christmas miracle to have it done right. We do have Christmas miracles, believe me. Now, the final bit of the video is going to be me looking at, well, this stock in store. Okay, yeah. You try and find one of these 3-packs in the weeks leading up to Christmas in the part of town where I live, and even this beautiful little twin pack, you try to find one of these in store in the very few retailers that sell this stuff, near impossible. But hey, we'll finish the video off with a bit of a retail study and me talking over what I see in store.
Okay, this is 2 months out from Christmas of 2025, looking at the Thomas & Friends stock in the few retailers that sell it in my end of town. I'll let the video do the talking. You can see what's on the pegs and the shelves here, and maybe you can start to see what's not there. And really, at this point of the year, if you're presenting to customers empty shelves and empty pegs, and we're not far from Christmas, well, maybe you're missing out on some opportunities there. There's one thing that's really clear to me, really clear, is the new styled Classic with my fingers in the air. Thomas 80th anniversary stock is selling really well, extremely well. What's bizarre is I have not seen ever pegged up the metal collection. That's a smaller one that you can push along with your hands. I've not seen any of that stock yet. I've seen the AEG stock as the metal collection get whittled down to nothing, and even the things that are impossible to sell seem to be selling. The only 80th anniversary stock that I see is the big playset, and of course I go in and look at the Thomas on that playset to look at the line work, and unfortunately I see the same errors happening again and again and again, and you will see me looking at the Thomases on a few sets as I'm looking in store at the stock. The Thomas & Friends stock that seems to be quite stubborn in selling is the All Engines Go playsets. There's the motorized version, also the metal collection or push-along version as well, but they both use the same track. It's a little bit confusing, but it's sort of not confusing. And I noticed there is just shelves and shelves and shelves of what is All Engines Go playsets. So I was hoping they would be reduced in price and just cleared out, but that hasn't happened. It seems like they're going to stick on shelf up until Christmas time. Maybe they will dump the price post-Christmas. Sometimes they dump the price just before Christmas as well. And the problem with Thomas All Engines Go is very simple. Nobody asked for a babyfied version of Thomas and Friends. My interpretation of the effect Thomas All Engines Go had on the Thomas franchise was it nearly killed off a franchise before it got to its 80th year. But maybe it wasn't just Thomas All Engines Go. There was all sorts of shenanigans happening, let's say since 2014, which has made it quite an interesting period of time for the Thomas and Friends franchise. Let's hope from here on we are going to stick to a known formula that's already proven and works. Maybe someone at Mattel has done a study of how one generation can affect another. Now, Generation Y, or the Millennials, were born from 1981 onwards, Generation Z from 1997 onwards, and Generation Alpha, which is the current generation as I'm making this video, from 2010 onwards. All three of these generations have been exposed to Thomas and Friends in the classic look, that is, when it was the TV show model series that flipped to CGI, but it's only Generation Alpha, who are between being infant to 13 years old as I'm making this video, who have had to suffer Thomas and Friends All Engines Go. So when it comes to buying toys for Generation Alpha, who else do you have to impress? You have to impress the parents. Who are the parents? Generation Y, the millennials. If you have spooked and disconnected your brand away from the parents, there's a very good chance they're not going to buy it for their children. I think this explains a lot for why Thomas and Friends All Engines Go has flopped.
Oh, give me a frippin' break! You know, it's this frippin' loser. He teased you with the Hot Wheels advent calendar, but he never showed you the exclusive Hot Wheels that I'm gonna steal from this loser. There it is there. I'm gonna have to reach in and grab this frippin' advent calendar. I've only got elf frippin' arms. It's like having a massive disability and pull his advent calendar down onto the frippin' table. Now Thomas is in the way. Get rid of Thomas! Yeah, these frippin' Thomases, he loves these, but he hates the line worker. Try and pick it up. Go away. And this one here. That was fun giving Thomas a smackdown. Let's do that more often. Now to get it against frippin' advent calendar. I think I've got to peel up the edge here somewhere. Of course, I'm not going to make it easy to get in this. I have to use all my special elf powers to get into this advent calendar. You know, why didn't this loser just open this up and show you the exclusive Hot Wheels? Frippin' hell, it's all upside down. Where do you think you're going to hide the exclusive? Let me guess. Day 24. Here, to make my job a bit easier, I'm just going to swivel this box around a bit. Okay, there's day 24 right in front of me. How am I going to open that up? Maybe I'll give it a headbutt. I bet an Elfie headbanging's done wonders. The flaps just started to open up there. If I get my little Elfie arms and open up this very carefully. Oh, what are we going to find here? Oh my God, it's exclusive! Now I'm going to work out how to get this exclusive Hot Wheels out of here. Let me just reach in here. Of course, they're not going to make it frippin' easy, are they? I can barely get my little elf hands down there. Here it comes. Oh yeah, I've got it out. Okay, let me just drive this onto the table. I'm playing with Hot Wheels. Let me leave it right there. And I'll close up the advent calendar like a good elf. And let me turn this box around about 180 because there's a picture on here that's very important. And with all my elf strength, I will get this box upright. Too far! Okay, that's just right. Okay, well, let me make one final adjustment. Okay, we're going to change the angle of the dangle. Just gently grab the Hot Wheels. This is worth thousands of dollars on eBay. And I'm doing this loser's frippin' work. He should have been doing this himself. But no. He just wants to crap on and do the minimal amount of work. Okay, just get the angle right. Just kick the front over a little bit more. Like that. Maybe the back a little bit like that. Okay, let's see how that looks. That's weird. There's sort of something missing. Let me take a closer look. Okay, this is Elfcam. I've got ADHD, so I'm all over the shop, but I'm sorry about that. Take a very careful look at that 2025 exclusive advent calendar Hot Wheels. Take a very careful look. Now take a look at what's presented on the box artwork there. Flippin' hell. I mean, flippin' hell. Hang on, let's take a closer look at that flippin' snowman. Okay, that looks like a fully featured snowman. I mean, it's got a carrot for a nose. It's got flippin' God knows what for eyes and mouth. It's got a scarf. It's got a black hat. Let's take a look at the little Hot Wheels car again. What the flippin' hell is in that Hot Wheels? Looks like someone had an accident with their flippin' whipped cream. I can't see a flippin' carrot nose. I can't see a flippin' scarf, or maybe there's one there, but it's not flippin' coloured. Where's the button eyes and everything else? Where's his flippin' black hat? It's not there. This is a flippin' joke. I've seen a blank piece of A4 paper with more details than that flippin' thing there. Okay, now we'll look for the disbelievers. That is the Hot Wheels there that came out of the 2025 Advent Calendar. It's exclusive for your pig's ass. Who gave the green light to that there? That's an abomination. Let's remember what the box artwork looked like. It looks like that would have been fantastic if we had the snowman that was seen on the box actually in the Hot Wheels, but instead we got something that looks like a great big lump of frickin' 10,000-year-old icing. Give me a frickin' break. Okay, now that I've seen clearly the Sleighn Snowman from the Hot Wheels Advent Calendar for 2025, I'm sort of thinking this is about as exclusive as a grain of sand that you find at the beach. I mean, give that snowman some flipping love! It's that simple, give him a little bit of paint, but there would have been some bank counter in Mattel thinking, oh no, you can't paint the snowman, our profits are going to plummet if we make the snowman look like a freaking snowman, but on the boxing, we're going to make it look like he's a billion-dollar snowman. But when it comes Christmas Eve and you pull it out of the advent calendar, you're going to be crying because you're presented with a white blob of boring snowman nothing. Get it right or give up! If you can't get it right, please give up! I've had enough! It looks boring, and I'm telling you now, at least I took time and had a look at this. The other frippin' loser who thinks he runs this channel didn't give it a hoot. He just threw the box to the side. Who wants to look at this rubbish? Maybe he was right. Maybe he's got his head screwed on the wrong way. But I'm telling you, the snowman doesn't cut the mustard. It's just complete nutter. Whitewash rubbish. Anyway, I'm going to tell you something that maybe you already know, maybe you don't know. Guess what? The frippin' loser who sort of thought he made this video, guess what? He knows absolutely nothing. He knows nothing. He knows nothing.